Hello, welcome back to my workshop. Right, the reason for this video is in my Optimus, I did a video some time back on my Optimus 8R. Give me 2 seconds, I'm just going to go and tweak that down a little bit. There we go. Hold on. Huh. Right, did a video on that a long time ago, and someone asked me, they said they just inherited one, and what's the procedure, if you will, for starting one up that hasn't been used in a long time safely. Now, that video was the second time I'd fired it up. First time I'd fired it up, I'd fired it outside. But hopefully, if you're lucky, it comes in a box and it will come with the instruction leaflet, which I have here. I will go and post a picture of this on the community page, and I'll also, because I can, post a text version of this. Thank you very much to Google and my Pixel 6a, which just did that. Right, so we have the instructions. A couple of points to note. You just open the stove. So the instructions say, open it up, we'll pull this out before you open it, then pull that out like that. Now, the thing to check from a safety point of view, there are 2 seals in this, 2 actuators. This does screw on here, but generally speaking, you don't interfere with that. There is this seal here, which is a rubber seal. And you do want to just examine that and make sure that that is okay. Now, in this day and age, we have a lot of alcohol in fuel. That presents a bit of a problem to certain types of rubber. I think that's okay with these. You'll notice, by the way, that the spanner that comes with this does allow you... Oh no, it doesn't. Does it go on there? It does. To both tweak and untweak that if you need extra help. So that's the first thing to do, check that for there. The second thing to do is to check that the cleaning needle works. And if I can just tip that up, and indeed what I'm going to do is get out another light so I can throw a bit more light. You can see just there. Okay, now that is off, and if that feels like it's gone off, it probably has. And if it's dry there and there's fuel in there, this is definitely working. If you turn it all the way to on, I don't know if you can just see that there. Let's just zoom in. You can see there, coming in and out, is its inbuilt cleaning needle. Okay, now if both of those are working, then I suspect you are good to go. This takes standard petrol or gasoline, as it says in the instructions. You can, should you wish, use Coleman fuel. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go take this outside. We're going to go outside. We're going to go fill some fuel in there, warm up the tank. That will let the fuel out into this spirit cup here, which you can just see. Then once we've got some in there, we light that. As that burns out, we then light this on a low heat. Once it's got warm up, we'll turn it up to full heat. And full heat is not all the way on, because that puts the pricker up. The full heat is about there, so not that far, be about there, with probably, in this case, clean all the way up. One other thing, if you're worried about fire, and you should be, first thing is do it somewhere where the ground is not dry, not bone dry. So don't do this in high summer when there's a drought on. and B, if you're worried about using fire, use a fire blanket. Now something you can use and you might not appreciate to put out a fire is paper. Now obviously dry paper burns quite well, so I'm not talking about dry paper. What you can do if you haven't got anything else is use a wet towel or wet paper. So if you're worried about fire, do that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to adjourn outside and I'm going to make myself a cup of tea after filling this thing with some fuel. Oh, something else by the way, before we go outside, this thing can come off. If this ends up in the wrong place, this is held on by two little divots there, which go into two little divots on the tank. So if it comes off, it just pops straight back on, and if it's in the wrong place you can pull it off and put it back on in the right place. To get this closed again, you want this up somewhere over there, and that will then slide in nicely in there, close the box, and off we go to make some tea. Right, let's make some tea. Firstly, something I forgot to mention is that when this is hot, particularly when you've just crikey, let me just manage to get that caught all over the place like a... Hold on, let me just twist that round. There we go. Right, when this is hot and you've just finished with the stove, whatever you do, do not open that. Okay, you'll let out a nice cloud of petrol vapour which will cause you huge amounts of problems. Right, that's not on a particularly level surface, so we can find a spot level on there which will be there. Second thing to mention is that you cannot, in fact, I don't know if you can just see that in there, that is a long tube that goes down in there. It prevents you overfilling. It also prevents you from getting all the fuel out. So first thing we are going to do is we are going to go and put some petrol in there. It's already got some in there, so I don't need a great deal. Just to the bottom of the pipe, let me just probably do a little bit more. Right, now because we're about to have fire around here, I'm going to go and put the petrol and the funnel well away. Next thing I'm going to do is put that lid on . And wipe away the spilt petrol. Okay, so we can now put that over there. Open this, might as well go all the way up to clean, and then back to halfway, and then we're just going to warm this tank. Let me just get that up. Now people do put spirit in there. Now let me just see. I'm just going to go and time how long it takes me. Let's see if I can. There we go. You can see that. Getting his spirit out. Take a while. There it comes. After about a minute you start getting some coming out. So you can push that off out the way and just put your hands move around, and that will help, as long as we put it back. Come on. Okay, we're getting, the spirit cup is getting damp. Right, so after 5 minutes we got plenty of fuel in there. Actually might have got a bit too much in. Close the valve. Set fire to it and we wait, and as it burns down, right, so now let's stop. Okay. Put in half a litre of water into the kettle, bits to make tea, and we'll time how long it takes to boil that when it's ready. So you can see at this stage it's very smoky. Alright, turn it on. Let it warm up. If you turn it up too much, it's in the way, and if you turn it down too low, you're closing it. So you've got to find that sweet spot. I think that'll do. So, all that done. And I'll come back to you. We'll put it on the speed up and I'll come back to you when it's done. Oh, should have added, you put that up as a windshield if you can. I think that's as hardly a whistle as we're going to get, but it's a warm cup. procedure for turning off. You can hear that this gets blown around a lot in the wind. You really do want to try and shield that as best as you can. Procedure for turning off is simply turn like that to close. That's it. What you do not want to do is open this vent. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let my tea brew. I'll see you back in the workshop in a sec. Right, cup of tea. So a couple of things. Still quite hot, so I'm not going to go and open this valve. So, but it is probably cool enough to put away, so I'm just going to do that. Close that. That up there like that. Then off this can go in my backpack. When I come to use this next, I will open it up and I will, with that closed, I will just relieve the pressure here first. Not now, because it's still warm. Relieve the pressure here first and then do it. Something else to note, by the way, you will have heard you were supposed to have that up as some kind of windshield. I didn't for quite a long time. That would have contributed to a longer time to boil. And you obviously want to point that at the wind, and you ought not to be using a kettle quite so big, but that's a kettle I use for making tea on track days on bigger stoves. So there we go. That is the Optimus 8R, and what I can say about safely firing it up after the first time you've used it, because you've just acquired it. The other thing I would say is I will put the instructions up, and I'll put them up converted to text for you, and that's that really. Thank you for watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Oh, and questions welcome, and if you feel this is especially helpful video, please hit the super thanks button.